Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one-stop destination for all your football-related discussions, topics, and opinions. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most sought-after strikers in the world at this time, Tottenham Hotspur's very own Harry Kane, with around 48 goal contributions this season and the race for the Golden Boot of the Premier League lining up. It is sure to see that Harry Kane is probably in his prime currently for this season and for the past two seasons. And today in this video, we're going to be looking at, should he leave Tottenham Hotspur? What club should he join? The advantages and disadvantages of joining that club. So we'll start off with Chirag. What do you think?
Yeah. Rishabh, you asked the question, should he leave the Tottenham? For me, that question, I think for all of us, the answer will be yes. Should he leave? Definitely. Will Levy leave him, let him leave? That will be a big question. But according to me, he should leave Tottenham. And now moving on to the likeliest destination, I would first start with a out of the box choice.
Chirag, I
That
would
is,
like to cut you over there. Should he leave? Will Levy let him leave? But should Levy stop him from leaving? I think he's already what the loyalty he's shown for the club, and with the fact that he deserves to play with a much better group of players than the current Tottenham squad, and the number of goals that he scored for Spurs, I definitely think that the chairman needs to be a bit more generous. He needs to acknowledge the efforts and contribution that Kane has put to the club, and he should hand him his desired transfer.
But Kane is arguably like Tottenham Hotspur's most valued player in their entire history, if not the best player in the entirety of their club. And Daniel Levy, he's not gonna let Kane go for like a measly fee. He won't let him go for less than 150 million. I feel like the big money clubs like Paris Saint-Germain or Manchester City maybe could afford the likeliness of Kane. So Chirag, yeah, continue.
no, according to me, he should leave. Like he should follow the steps of his predecessors in form of Modric, Bale, even Eriksen for that matter. All of them have moved out of Spurs and have won trophies according in their life. They have got the status that they were craving for. They were the best at Tottenham. There is no doubt. But when they moved out, they are fighting for the best trophies all over the Europe, according to me. So first of all, I would like to start with PSG, as you mentioned, Rishabh. See, PSG looks like a very unlikely destination considering he's an Englishman. He wants to break all English records, staying in the Premier League. But and he has a family with very small kids. So moving completely out of into a new country where you have to change their schoolings and very basic stuff, basic requirements,
Language.
it will be very heavy. Yeah, definitely. So according to me, moving to PSG does not make any sense. But what PSG sources are linking are that spending this much cash, Levy wants, this is only capable for a club like PSG. First of all, if he is moving to England, Levy won't easily let him go to a rival because any English team will be a rival for him. So Levy won't let him go to an English team and any other team in Germany or Spain. Any giants do not have the money to spend currently to get Kane. So for PSG, it looks like a very good destination. And just imagining a front three of Mbappe, Neymar, and Harry Kane. According to me, this could be the best front three you will ever see in world football. So obviously, those are fantasy things. But according to me, personal reasons will be stated by Harry Kane to not move out of PSG. So it looks like the out of the box choice, according to me.
I agree with him. There, when it comes to PSG, I feel like we often call it a farmers league mainly because of the way PSG spends their money on not nurturing the younger players, but just buying whoever they want because they're capable of buying them. And for Harry Kane, like you said, he wants to do it personally for himself to break the all English records. And I don't know, PSG would just seem like the wrong place for him to go if he wants to make his legacy worth something. So, Palash and Tanish, what do you all think?
Yeah, I don't think PSG should be any longer part of this conversation. I think we should move to the more realistic clubs, which are particularly the English clubs, because England is his nationality. You don't very often see English players moving to foreign leagues. The best of the players who are playing for the national team are applying the
But
trade in England
Yash,
itself.
I'll cut you here.
Yeah.
Englishmen do not move out of the league, but definitely when the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona will lure you, you definitely will I move. Tanish, your takes on maybe Real Madrid and Barcelona because both of them have been linked in the past or in the present time as well. So your take on Barcelona and Real Madrid together.
Yeah, too bad that if he is to be lured away by Real Madrid and Barcelona, because that won't be much of a step up from, say, Tottenham Hotspurs. Both teams are in transition. Both of them don't have good squads. Yes, you'll be playing for the badge, you'll be playing for the prestige. But when it comes to winning the trophies that he actually wants to win, I think he wants to win the Premier League first of all. He's not even won that. Not even the Carabao Cup. Just so anyway. A part of the matter being that also the Champions League will be important. And for the next 2 or 3 years, I don't think Madrid and Barcelona enter the fray of actually competing for the Champions League again, simply because they are in that transitional phase currently. The only likely destination for me, and also given the fact that Madrid and Barca are in severe financial debt, Madrid a little bit less than Barca, but seriously, that Harry Kane cannot be an option, surely. Uh, it will be a fantasy move if it happens. On the other hand, I only see one likely destination because I don't see Daniel Levy selling to Chelsea. Definitely not. That happened with Luka Modric. 4 bids were rejected. Apart from that, I think he might go to Man City. Man United don't have what it takes to actually negotiate a deal of such a high stature. They are not very good at it. When it comes to their board and transfer negotiations, I think the only club in the world who's viable financially and actually capable of doing such a deal is Manchester City. As much as I would not want that to happen because of my loyalty towards Chelsea, I can only see that happening. But if that that alone depends on Daniel Levy. Now, if he lets him go, and will he ask like 160 million, because he is extremely miser when it comes to dragging every penny he can from a transfer, from a potential transfer. When it comes to Harry Kane, obviously.
This is probably the
So
big
it's
transfer he's
unlikely,
gonna make
but
for
the
you.
likeliest position currently is definitely Man City.
So I think Tanisha started the conversation with the English clubs. So Rishabh, being a Man City fan, you can take over this Man City talk now.
Yeah, so I think I have to rival, what Tanish is saying. Man City does seem like, a dream for all of us for Harry Kane to come in, because he's probably he's one of the most hated strikers in Europe right now, excluding the likes of Ronaldo. Lewandowski and him are at the top of their form. But the thing with Manchester City is, if you've noticed in all of our transfer windows, we've never bought a single individual worth
More than 30
over a
million.
100 mil. We've never bought a big player. We've always bought in smaller, lesser known players for a significantly good amount. Like, let's say Ruben Diaz for 65 million. And we've trained them very well. With the likes of Ferran Torres as well. So you see, Man City is very smart with the investments that they make. And Pep Guardiola, Pep Guardiola. He is the kind of people who likes to nurture people. He doesn't like spending it on people who are already in the best form of their life, who can get them trophies no matter what. He wants to grow them as a team. Looking back at Pep Guardiola's other two teams, being Bayern Munich and Barcelona, you would see the amount of progress he's done with the youngsters back then, the likes of Lionel Messi, Joshua Kimmich, and Robert Lewandowski for that matter. So, to be fair, Pep Guardiola should invest in a very good striker, but I feel Harry Kane, for the price tag, 150 million, I do not see the worth. Because considering the fact that we played extremely well with the false nine, it would be more advisable, playing with a proper number 9 like Harry Kane. But I don't think he's worth that much.
No, I'll like to contradict you here because see, if you want to tick all the boxes, first of all, Harry Kane wants to stay in England, and this is the best option if he is staying in England. He just has to move from London to Manchester. Also, if you talk about ticking boxes, Man City need a striker. They are out of a striker. Man City wants to compete for the highest honors. They are in the Champions League final this year, and definitely are contenders for the next 2 to 3 years consecutively. They are the Premier League champions right now and will be defending their league title next year as well. With the team they have, with the squad they have, they want just a striker to finish off goals who can give you 40 to 50 goals an year in a calendar year. And when you talk about strikers or a person scoring goals, we have seen how Messi has played under Pep Guardiola. Obviously, that is a very different standard, and we have seen many other strikers at Bayern playing under Pep Guardiola. He could get the best out of a man like Harry Kane, who is looking to just score or is acting as a poacher. At Man City, you will get balls on your feet just to score, and that will be the best delight for him. And according to me, Harry Kane won't have personal issues there. So now, I think taking off all the boxes, one more club that ticks all the boxes is Chelsea, except the PR thing. So, Palash, what's your take on Chelsea?
Look, I wouldn't speak about how likely the transfer is. Will Lewis sell him to Chelsea? I think it's a dream transfer for all Chelsea fans. Personally speaking, I would prefer Harry Kane over the likes of Haaland, Lukaku, or the other strikers. Even though people say that he's 27, I think he's prem proven. He's one of the most well-rounded strikers in the world. I think he'll perfectly fit under Tuchel's system because Tuchel is a very versatile manager. There are talks of him moving back to a back four next season. I think he's not a manager who will have a particular philosophy, a particular style of play, and he'll continue that. He will keep it changing like he did this season. I just think that the way even Chelsea are playing right now, Harry Kane would be a perfect fit. His link up play, his hold up play, his aerial presence, his finishing ability. I think
His
he's
passing.
passing. I think he's perfect fit for Chelsea. Definitely is.
Okay,
So
a question. Sorry,
yeah,
Chirag.
Rishabh. No,
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 please
please.
finish.
Okay.
Uh,
I was just saying I am also a Chelsea fan. So just adding up things. Obviously, if you have to look that he does not want to move or he does not want his family to move, if he stays, comes at Chelsea, he does not even have to move his house. His students can, sorry, his children can study in the same school, in the same city. He can have his whole family with him at the same place. Definitely, it looks like a very good move. But the only problem here is Levy. We all saw what happened during the Luka Modric sale when Chelsea was bidding, I think so, 10 to 50 million extra than Real Madrid at that time
Market
as well.
value.
But he chose to take a price cut and then also send him to Tottenham. Oh, sorry, Real Madrid rather
Madrid.
than Chelsea. And something similar happened with the Willian deal. Obviously, relations with Tottenham is not are not at all good for Chelsea. But according to me, if Harry Kane pushes himself that he wants Chelsea, then no one can deny him. If a player wants
Yeah,
a
one thing that
particular
you
move,
might be
he will
forgetting
get
is
that.
one thing you might be forgetting is that Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in world football. He deserves and he wants to play at the top level. And something that might be in question, I know Chelsea fans are quite confident about is Champions League football next season, something that we haven't secured already. So just taking that notice because the Aston Villa game is yet to be played. They are a good side. You never know. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
No, definitely, obviously, but Chelsea likeliness is very much high after the win against Leicester. So, and I don't think anyone will doubt Chelsea's Champions League qualification from next season when Chelsea will be full-fledged going for full-on attack, according to me. So, I think moving for Harry Kane makes the best sense, according to me. And obviously, when if you are talking about Harry Kane's transfer, the word impractical, impossible are the words that we used, and only person I know who can crack these deals is Roman Abramovich and our agent Marina. So definitely, according to me, it can happen if they want it, but no chances.
But
And moving on,
personally, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
personally, I feel
Rishabh.
like him moving to a Chelsea club, like all of you said, is a dream transfer, and I personally back this up is because of his loyalty to a London club like Tottenham Hotspur. I don't see him moving to
No, no,
Arsenal or Chelsea.
just talking about loyalty to to the club, London club. He was a boyhood Arsenal fan. He was
Yeah,
playing for Arsenal's academy. So I don't no reason here comes of loyalty.
that's no,
Nothing
that
is
is
loyalty
true.
right
But
now.
when you look at any player for that matter, if you started playing there, that's where you start to build your legacy from. I think you owe yourself to that club personally. And and as much as Harry Kane loves Tottenham Hotspur, as much as he wants to leave it, I personally don't see him, leaving for another London club like Chelsea. Like forget Arsenal. Arsenal will never be able to afford him. But seeing the likes of him moving to Chelsea would seem like little like very close to impossible. But
Yeah, I
moving
think
on
I'm
from
going to I think I'm going to back up Rishabh for this because I don't see this transfer happening simply because of our 220 million Spurs last summer. And on top of that, yes, we need a striker, but we are looking at two or three different positions to strengthen. And spending 150 million, which I think should be the budget for this summer, I don't think that will go on one player alone. So it won't be a financially good move because we need a centre back also. Let's not forget. That is an area in which we are lacking, and a central midfielder where the squad depth is a bit thin. So it's not a financially viable option
But
for me.
Tanish, would you prioritize a centre back looking at our current defensive record over a world class striker, looking at the fact that we've got the most, probably the second most chances created, yet only the 13th most goals scored in the Premier League since Tuchel came? And
And
also talk.
also talking about the centre back position, so Tanish, I think centre backs recruitment would be a very late option for Chelsea because likes of Malang Sarr, Tomori's decision have not been made. See, I can even leave Tomori; he is not coming. But the likes of Malang Sarr,
Also, Mark
Mark,
Wahi, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And Silva is extending for sure. Christensen, Rudiger are not going anywhere. Aspilicueta still has a year or two in him. So definitely going for a centre back right now won't make sense until we sell out someone. And no one looks likely to sell out because I just saw Zuma is doing a Pride for Chelsea video where he says Chelsea is my only home. So he also moving out does not make any sense right now.
And even with center midfielders, we've got N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho, and Billy Gilmore, who's continuing to impress. So we've got four
And the
quality,
likes of Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Barkley,
yeah,
Bakayoko.
Louis Bate, all of these coming with the academy as well. So all of these, and we're going to just start two of them. So I think one position that we need to look to strengthen, especially with Tammy and Giroud leaving, we'll just have Werner over there. Havertz can play there occasionally, but uh, most probably that Tuchel might switch to four at the back. He will play with one extra attacker. So I personally think that we should prioritize the centre forward position, and I would like to see either of Kane most preferably, or if not Kane, Lukaku at,
Lukaku.
yeah, definitely.
Now moving
Yes.
from away
So
from Chelsea's discussion, let's move to
I
Manchester United. Your London rival. Oh, sorry, your Manchester rivals.
yeah, honestly, I think it's pretty simple. I think everybody will agree with me on this. Cavani just signed a contract extension. Manchester United still have got the likes of Anthony Martial. I do not see Kane being there. They are definitely title contenders, Manchester United, in the upcoming season, along with the likes of Chelsea as well. But I can safely say at least for the next season, I can see Manchester City holding on to the Premier League title simply because of the transition that we've already made. Last season was, albeit bad for us, but this season was even more terrible. And I think Pep has realized that. And the transition that he's made in such a short amount of time has had a most tremendous effect on the club. And for Harry Kane to move to Manchester United, it would, I don't think I could see it happening, especially with the Glazers and the controversy that is surrounding the club itself. So I do not see Harry Kane moving there.
Also, I'll just put up a point in here. I have seen news of Robert Lewandowski looking for a move outside of Bayern Munich. Like he wants to leave Bayern Munich. So any likely that if Lewandowski moves out to some other club, so Harry Kane replacing him at Bayern Munich, it could be a very good move. The only fact is he has to leave England.
Hmm. So like I don't think Bayern Munich will again invest in Harry Kane. Harry Kane's price tag is, for every single club, it is way too high. I think all of us could agree. We'd rather spend around five small players rather than just blow it all on one big player, albeit being worth it. But I don't see Bayern Munich playing that. Bayern Munich have been absolutely tremendous this season. Even with Lewandowski injured, they've somehow managed to bang in at least 4 goals every game. Whenever they've not lost. So yeah, I think that's it. Which brings me to my question.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you think that Kane's move to any club would harm the experience for youngsters? When you say youngsters, at least when I talk for Manchester City, I'll talk about the likes of Ferran Torres, Phil Foden, Liam
Them
Delap, Tommy Doyle.
know.
Yeah, do you see the experience like getting removed from them because they won't be allowed game time simply because of Kane's price tag? Do you feel like he has to be played and like no youngster is going to be played anymore?
Rishabh, I'll take over this question. See, if you're talking about Man City, the youngsters you have are in form of Ferran Torres and Phil Foden. They are not natural strikers, so Kane taking up their position does not make any sense. According to me, he is a direct replacement to your Aguero. Aguero was starting, and still Foden and Ferran Torres were also developing at that time. And maybe a figure like Harry Kane, when you have him in your squad, an experienced striker, when English proven striker, you can have the essence of him being spread and his tactics being deployed to the youngsters in form of Phil Foden. Phil Foden and him could be the best English duo you could see in the upcoming years. If he and Phil Foden are to combine together, Ferran Torres can play off the wing, which is his natural position as well, from any of the wings, either side of the wing, and he could be at the supporting element to him. And when you have Pep Guardiola, man management is never an issue. If you have Pep Guardiola, he will give experience and time to each and every player he has. And if anyone proves him right, they will get more and more chances. Talking about clubs like Chelsea are lacking youngsters even at the position of the striker at the striker position. We have a number of good graduates right now, but they are not Premier League ready as of now. We have the likes of Armando Broja, we have Sunsa Bell, who are not so ready for the
Yeah.
Premier League as of now. So definitely not. He won't hamper in these clubs. But if he moves to Manchester United, he could definitely hamper the development of Mason Greenwood, according to me. Mason Greenwood has been proving him in the later stage of this season, and maybe giving him more opportunities up top or even on the right of Cavani could help him develop better. So it could hamper Mason Greenwood's development. So maybe moving to other clubs won't hamper much of development for youngsters.
Agreed. So I think that's all said. Should we end the podcast over here, guys?
Yeah.
Just your opinion. Is he leaving? And if he is leaving, where is he leaving? Just the name of the
I'll
club.
be hopeful over here. I wish Harry Kane leaves because he deserves to, and I hope he comes to Chelsea.
He comes to.
Chelsea.
Oh, Rishabh.
I think Harry Kane should leave again. And as much as I'd give my opinion on Manchester City not needing a big money signing like Harry Kane, I still would not be opposed to having him. So if he leaves, Manchester City looks like the most likely destination of any club in the world. What about you, Chirag?
Everyone is going with their bias here. I could definitely see that, and maybe I'll also go with my bias. I want him at Chelsea because Chelsea need a striker who can score 50 goals this season, and I can think he is the best.
Definitely. So with that, we come to the end of the podcast. For more top quality football content, keep listening to the Football Parliament podcast. Thank you for listening till the end. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other such platforms. Until next time, I'm Palash Modi signing off.